Good evening, everyone. Me, myself, Sri M, Joint Secretary of IEEE site of Mangalam College of Engineering. So, let's start our program by giving glory to Almighty God to make this occasion a resounding success. It's my pleasure to start this occasion of IEEE by heartily welcoming everybody. I'm so happy to see you here all together. Here, at the moment, we IEEE Sahrdaya SB and IEEE Mangalam SB join our hands together for making such a wonderful event. She Rise for making each and every woman in engineering to rise up their dream. Here we are celebrating our IEEE Day 2021. IEEE is the world's largest non-profit technical professional organization and are composed of engineers, scientists, and allied professionals. We are celebrating the IEEE Day on October 5. IEEE Day theme is Leveraging Technology for a Better Tomorrow. Today, we have our chief guest, Sahithi Divi ma'am, with us for a talk section on entrepreneurship and women empowerment. She is the Forbes India 30 Under 30 Special Mention, founder of impactscientist Mohanam Village and Heritage Center, National Brand Ambassador of SDGs by CISMSE. Welcome, ma'am. Then I welcome all the participants who's present here. And last but not the least, I welcome all the active IEEE members present here. Thank you all. So let's welcome our honorable speaker, Ms. Sahithi Divi ma'am, to take over the section. Ma'am, please.
Thanks a lot, Sri Lakshmi, and everybody for having me on this platform to talk to you and share my journey. My name is Sahithi Divi, and I am the founder of Impact Scientist. I'm the founder of Impact Scientist, and I live in Oroville. I have done my master's in social entrepreneurship and bachelor's in pharmacy. So my social impact journey started mostly with my masters. After, like, I have done a few volunteering activities in my childhood, but then the whole rural business, these things propagated together for me when I've done my masters in social entrepreneurship from San Francisco. And that is when I got the opportunity to participate with people from more than 30 countries who were looking at the social impact and the social problems with different lens, but trying to find solutions together. But immediately after my masters was over, I came back to India because India is a developing nation and we need more social entrepreneurs to be in our country, as we are also a skill based economy. So as soon as I came back to India, I was in a lot of confusion because the social impact space and the space, the non-profit segment is not uh, properly organized in our country yet. So that is when I saw an opportunity, but at the same time I needed some exposure on grassroots level, and I had gone to Sri Lanka as a part of UNDP project on gender equality, moving from almost one village to another, one town to another for 1.5 months time. We went to more than 15 places, talking to women and children in the school about what is gender equality, what is women, what is sex education, what can women bring to the table, what are the social stigmas which are faced by women, and how can they be just resolved by creating awareness about the fundamental rights. And with all this experience, I came back and I started working for a social startup, a global social startup called Chezuba, which is an online volunteering company. So Chezuba connects online volunteers with the projects online. So the non-profits, there are more than 1,000 non-profits from 13 countries who are a part of Chezuba. So we connect the non-profit projects to the online volunteers across the world. I was heading the partnerships division there, after which I had done my practitionership in design thinking. Talking about design thinking, I was initially introduced to the concept of design thinking in the United States, where it clearly means usually what we have an approach of having a solution and then taking that solution into the market, and we think that that is entrepreneurship, how effectively we can take our product into the market and bring revenues is not just entrepreneurship. Like, design thinking says that you have to spend many months or a lot of time in interviewing and going and talking and interacting with your stakeholders, and then finding a solution. Like, first you do empathy interviews with whoever you think are your stakeholders of your idea, and then come back, discuss with your team, create a prototype, test it with the people whom you have interviewed, and then arriving to a solution is called design thinking. So I'm trying to bring this approach in the social impact space broadly. And after which I had done my executive education from Harvard Business School online in sustainable business strategies. So now, if you look back, like my volunteering experience with UNDP, the masters of social entrepreneurship, and the diversified experience of working with so many countries regarding these social issues. And then after coming back, I worked for a social enterprise which was dealing with the non-profits plus the design thinking. And bringing all this together, like, one day, like, I had my calling after 1 year of working with Chezuba as head of partnerships. I had my calling and I quit the company. Although I have a great relationship with the company right now, but that was the time I had to leave, because I wanted to start writing about what are sustainable development goals, as most of us don't know that India has signed a treaty in 2015 along with another 150 countries, saying that we will achieve the 17 goals, which are 2030 mission goals, which are the global goals, like no poverty, quality education, zero hunger, and gender equality, health. Like these, we have 17 goals, and the whole world needs to collaborate and work together towards achieving these goals. So I kind of started writing about the sustainable development goals in my blog. I floated a company called Impact Scientist, which is a website, and my goal is to connect the rural enterprises, the rural women enterprises, to the B2B markets, or create awareness about these stories, about how women have created these wonderful products at the bottom of the pyramid, and how what are the things that they are missing, the market linkages, the digital resources, the financial resources. So the various challenges which are faced by women. And also, during my journey, I had come across a report by McKinsey that says that by 2025, at least if half the Indian women start participating in the formal economy, our economy will boost by 27%. And that is the power which women and rural India is withholding. So, given this, I started writing about all the 17 goals, and then I channelized myself into one single goal, because even in my whole lifetime, if I give 24 hours in a day and if I don't think about anything, and if I'm working constantly, even towards one goal, maybe I'll be able to create an impact of 1 or 2% on a global scale. So I channelized myself, from the job to being on my own, and then writing about so many goals to one goal. And then I jumped deep into understanding where the women are residing. Most of the women, I was living in Hyderabad, I was living in the urban, and I wrote some stories about successful women entrepreneurs in the government, in the media industry, in corporate, in various segments, in various organizations. And after doing 12 to 15 stories, I felt very saturated, because as I dived deep into the Indian economics of how we can increase the economy using Indian women, I realized that most of it is, residing in its villages. Most of the Indian women are residing in its villages. And the success stories that I'm going to do might not bring the real impact to my goal, which I was fighting for. So I relocated from Hyderabad to a small town in Andhra Pradesh, where I started working with the government. The local member of parliament supported me to get in touch with all the local supply chains. So I worked with the rice industry, bamboo brick making, basket making, and handloom, cashew nut industry, mango jelly, and there are numerous industries which are handmade and which are there from hundreds of years in our country, and which are fed by the skill development segment. So these are the supply chains I used to go, and I used to interact with. Say, if I'm going to a cashew supply chain, I would go to a cashew field. I would talk to the farmers, and then I'll talk to the women who are cleaning the cashew, and then the people who are dealing with the machinery of the cashew, of heating and cooling it and processing it. And then we look at the packaging and how the logistics work after the packaging is done, how many different types of grades of cashew are produced, what can we do with the byproducts of the cashew. So this is called the complete supply chain, and ultimately how it is going to the consumers. How are we buying it, and where are we buying it? Online, offline, on site. So the various like the various channels involved in a supply chain of a single product is so much. So like this, I went deeper into handloom. Actually, I worked with three villages and 150 weavers in Andhra, where most of the houses in these three villages would be the weaving houses. And that is when uh, the economic empowerment came to impact scientists first, because we used to procure the fabric directly from the weavers and sell it to the customers who are already following impact scientist. And after that pilot project, I got a fair idea of how the supply chain is on the village level. What is the environmental problems that could be created, and how can we make the supply chain more sustainable, and what are the problems faced by women. How is the policy how is the policy being ultimately executed at the ground level. So these with so many learnings, I decided that okay, I cannot just focus on one supply chain, because I need to keep scouting and finding these organic stories of beautiful products which are residing in our villages. So, to be able to continue finding these stories, and also to provide a sustainable market solution, and bring about a digital revolution for these rural enterprises, I had to relocate myself again. Uh, and in search of where to go, I ended up in Auroville and realized it's an amazing place for a social entrepreneur, because there are people from 50 countries. There are more than 70 to 80 actively running social enterprises, and a lot of development that is being done in the social impact space in the bioregion of Auroville as well. So here I am in Auroville, doing more and more stories and reaching out to so many more women. And in the journey of impact scientist, once we completed in Andhra after doing the supply chain, was when impact scientist got featured on Forbes 30 and under 30, because we combined the design thinking approach with the social impact space while writing the stories about these supply chains and the products. So today, Impact Scientist is a rural innovation platform, and we continue to write stories. I continue to keep searching for these stories on ground from various parts of our country, and create a marketplace where people either buy in bulk or provide a sustainable solution by investing or becoming entrepreneurs using these products. So that is a little bit of journey about impact scientist, but I'm really happy to take more questions from you, because that'll be more fun. I'm really excited to know what you have to ask me. Yes, you can ask. Okay, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, ma'am. Um, will rural and entrepreneurship support economy? If yes, then how?
So we have hardly say like 20 cities, or which are major cities, where everybody in all the states, in the villages and the towns, the 2 tier 3 tier places, these places are, people living in these places are wanting to go move to the cities, and so this is causing a lot of urbanization, and everybody is searching for similar kind of jobs, thinking that that is the solution for the country. But the agriculture, the cotton industry, I mean the textile industry, and so many skill development, all the food related, food processing, aquaculture, and textile industry, or any handmade industry for that matter, which is around us, which we are consuming today, or the raw materials for the products which are created in the cities, everything is coming from our villages. But we don't have the human resources and the infrastructure and the collaborative effort kept by the corporates, governments, individuals, and non-profits and the other organizations are not able to come together effectively to kind of work together in a momentum and a rhythm to bring out these rural enterprises. Instead, we are either moving away from the country, or we are moving away from the village at least. Instead, we can think of, uh, thinking of how can we provide, like if you are an engineer, you can look back at the village and say, you can provide digital access to so many enterprises that are there. You can provide blockchain technology to all these handmade products to make the supply chain more transparent. You can help in marketing. You can bring in so many devices and design, uh, design related changes and interventions can come from the cities or from the educated segment to the rural enterprises, and that is what I mean by the collaborative effort. So both the segments are important, but definitely most of the products and the services which are sustainable and futuristic are definitely in the villages. And women can become the vehicle of carrying these products back into the world.
Okay, ma'am.
I cannot hear you. You're on mute.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Why is it important to unleash rural entrepreneurship?
Your first question and this are almost the same, but definitely we can look at this from the school perspective. This the education about rural enterprises, about our local skills and traditions, culture, heritage, products, and how the local life is, what the food is about, how the complete lifestyle is of a village, that could be inducted into a student from the school level, from the government schools, or from even the normal private schools. So we are still learning the British history. We don't know the details of India. So even if we have a proper information about how the agriculture is going, how the supply chains are working, how these products, the products which we are using today, from where are they coming? Like what is the beginning of, where these products start? Like if I'm wearing this dupatta, the cotton seed for this might have been laid somewhere. So that is understanding your complete supply chain. And when you start understanding, you will find your own solutions. Then you will decide whether you want to be in non-profit space, or you want to be with the corporate, or you want to work with in the government, or you want to get into civils. But what you want to do is okay. From the 17 goals, you can choose whether you want to work for hunger or water or climate change or women or education or health. But after you choose, okay, I'm more interested in gender equality, how are you going to solve that? By starting a social enterprise, or by joining a corporate that is doing these activities as their CSR because you want a job security? So it depends on your personality. uh, Rural entrepreneurship is not a one stop solution. It can be diversified into so many multi-dimensional. You can think it from a very multi-dimensional way, because sometimes you could be an influencer, and sometimes you could be an entrepreneur, and sometimes you could be a part of government, but doing the same thing.
Okay, ma'am. Um, Women entrepreneurship in rural enterprises. What is the main obstacle for women where we came across this topic?
The main uh, obstacle for women is the social stigma, because although so many women in this country are educated, are they able to convert their education into employment? It could be self employment, it could be working for someone, or it could be volunteering, or it could be anything. Basically, are all the educated women in this country able to give their skill back to the country? So that is the greatest challenge, because we can talk about, okay, there is social stigma, there is a security problem, there is sanitation issues, there are water issues, there is inequality, there is patriarchy. So but above all, we have tried to, okay, from so many years we are talking about these problems, and the government is actually giving free education to all the girls, and actually so many women are able to do professional courses also, bachelor's and masters also, with the support of so many different organizations. So forget about the like uneducated women. What about the educated women converting their knowledge into a skill? That itself is not happening. So that is the greatest challenge in our country, and that happens because of so many social stigmatic reasons, because this personal life, after marriage, what happens to the girl, and after kids, what happens to the girl, taking care of the family, what happens to the girl. So there are so many very small but unimportantly important factors which a woman's life is objectively sought through. So these are the greatest challenges for a woman, and every woman should understand that these problems will be there. Nobody is going to say that, okay, you go and do this, you leave your kids and do this, or you leave your something and do something. I think you have to accept the fact that this is how the world is, and you have to be your own voice and fight for it. Because if you don't fight, if you don't use your own voice for yourself, nobody else can come and help you. So if people around you or the community around you is able to identify that you are persistent, and if you're really passionate about something, then whether you're a girl or a boy, no one can stop you.
Okay, ma'am. Uh, Ma'am, why do you think being an independent woman is a difficult journey? Uh, Being an independent woman, entrepreneurship is a daring and risky journey, right? What is your advice for that who want to take this daring journey?
So it begins with self discovery. Give yourself a lot of time to understand what you like, which field you like, uh, which area you like, and where are you feeling passionate and happy at the same time. Volunteer, travel, meet a lot of people, interact with as many people as you can. And whenever you have some idea, it could be a very lame idea which people think that it doesn't make sense, still talk to your friends about it, talk to someone about it, validate your ideas. And if you're confident about something, you might not as well finish it, but try to start. Because that whole process of starting, exploring, researching, talking to people, getting criticized, people not believing in you, but you still being passionate about something, this learning will make you more independent. Because while you're independent, you're by yourself, and there is a lot of risk. You're not going to depend on anybody for making small and big decisions. So make sure that you validate your idea before risking it all. And because allow all the critiques to reach you, and take all the feedback from people, and please self discover yourself. And when I say self discover, it's a very underrated word in our society. You have to know who you are, for you to be happy when you're independent. And when you're happy, no one can stop you from succeeding.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, in your opinion, what is more safe and profitable industry for women in your for rural or urban?
So I'm fighting for equality. So I will never classify industries basis on man and woman. So men and women are historically divided and classified into certain amount of, like mostly like say mechanical, like in engineering colleges when I was in BFAM, like my engineering friends used to say that in mechanical engineer there are not many girls, but and in computer science there are many girls. So I mean that is there, but it's also because many parents think that mechanical is not for women, or the college itself thinks that mechanical is not for women. But I've heard from so many women that they wanted to do mechanical engineering, but their parents or they, not just the parents but the whole system, or they end up getting convinced to do something which other people think that is okay for them.
Okay, ma'am. Um, do you think that primary force women to do entrepreneurship or something that that they really want to do? Maybe something to dairy in the as eyes of society.
Can you repeat the question for me, please?
Okay, ma'am. What do you think as primary for women to do entrepreneurship or something that they really want to do? Maybe something that in dairy in the eyes of society.
So your question is for them to be independent and for them to be able to do what they want, what they should do.
Yeah, what they should do. What they should do. Uh, in um, 1 minute, ma'am. What they should do. They really like the way they are, or for the society.
Definitely, you should not do anything for anybody, because initially we think that it's very uh, easy to get things done if we can say please or make people happy around
It's
us.
5:30.
But ultimately, what happens is if we are not able to feed our own soul, on a long run, we can't make others happy. So, and everybody respects and looks up to the person who doesn't listen to anyone, but who can still make it to the other side.
Okay, ma'am. What are the scope and challenges of rural enterprise that currently prevailing in India?
Current rural enterprises.
Yeah, what are the scope and challenges of rural enterprise that are currently prevailing in India?
Yeah, this we have already discussed the scope of rural entrepreneurship, and how many skill-based industries are there, all the supply chains, digitalization, bringing more capital in industries, working with a collaborative approach, and making sure that the policies are executed so that all the self-help groups and the farmer producer organizations and the groups we are feeding with so much of money, the output is not measured. So these kind of various interventions can bring momentum to rural entrepreneurship in India.
Okay, ma'am. Um, Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so
The,
much for having me.